Annette Green again with Elizabeth Craft Designs, and I'm back with part 2 of my December Day by Day album. I wanted to share with you a few more tips and tricks for making this go faster and easier for you as you document your December. All right, if you watched part 1, you saw I talked about the different planner sizes, the different dies, and how to decide which ones to begin with. A couple of little techniques on how to save a little bit of time by pre-assembling your pieces. So today I'm going to take you through my book. I have not added any photos yet. I will be doing that soon. But we saw my dashboard page here, which is a very simple page with just a few things added to it. Talked about that in video 1. Same thing with this page. This was the last thing we saw, is this 2-page spread finished with just a few embellishments. Very quick, very easy. And if you recall, I talked about using the little numbers here. And so I will show you, that's number 3 and number 4 here. Again, to reiterate, that is from the Planner Essentials, I think it's Planner Essentials 35 Holiday Tab Page Die Set. It has a whole bunch of stuff on there, and it has those numbers, and then it has this large one, which we'll talk about. Okay, so again, the things that make this go by very quickly and easily is that Reminiscence paper pad that I've been talking about that I love so much. Now I have 2 more pads. I love it so much. And you can see I've cut it all apart and I've saved a lot of the bits and pieces. But that is the key to making these pages beautiful and quick and simple. So you can see here, the background is from that paper pad, some fussy cuts, you know, things cut out really quickly, and these pages are really kind of done. I did die cut those numbers, like I told you, and then 2 places for either journaling or photos here. Those are other dies that Elizabeth Crafts carries. Easy, easy, easy. Okay, and then again, simple page. I haven't added anything to the back of this page as far as paper. It's just the back side of that paper. So it's easy. You don't have to keep building onto it. It's already a pretty like burgundy color back there with a little bit of pattern in it. And then it's set to go. So just a little paper accent, little journaling spot. And then this fun die set is from Josette. And again, I die cut out of, instead of cardstock, I die cut out of the paper in that Reminiscence paper pad. And that just makes it so much more fun, this little apron and the little oven mitt. So I know that day 5 had probably something to do with baking or cooking. So I know what my photos are going to be in advance. Here is a little tip. When you come to a beautiful piece of paper like this, I just couldn't bring myself to cover it up with a photo mat. So instead, I cut this particular page. Let's see, this is from the Planner Essentials 30, the Wave Pocket die set. And you can see there's a whole bunch of stuff on here. This was the smaller one we saw earlier, but then this is the large one I cut out of the vellum. And that way, I can put my photos on each side of this, and it doesn't interrupt with this beautiful page. This page is just going to stand alone, and this one is going to have the photos. And I said vellum, but it's acetate. It's got a little tab over here. But you can do vellum as well. I just had some acetate. Works great. All right, and then we've got this page here. There again. Here's a little tip. So if you're cutting out, let's say this guy, okay? Actually, let's go with the middle size. There's 3 different sizes in that particular set. So what I've done here is I die cut one, but at the same time, I die cut this one laid inside of the cardstock. And so what that did is it provided that open window for me to put cardstock behind it, but then it also gave me a shape that I'll show you later in the book and save me a whole bunch of time. So I'll show you that in just a minute. But just to finish up here, like I had said in video 1, this is from the Creator Wreath, just a few of those little accents, pop them on a page. These are simple cut aparts and photo mats, and these pages are done. Okay, so now here's 9. Here's a little bit of stamping right on the pattern paper, which is great. And a quick photo mat and a few little, you know, cut aparts from the paper, and it's done. Same thing over here, but look at when we get to 10. See how much bigger it is than 9? That's where I had talked about when I get to the teens, using this particular die set, the holiday tab page die set. These go 0 through 9, and then you have this big one that has a 10 on it. So that's where I started to go a little larger, and I did the 10 there. And then when I got to 11, I simply cut away that center portion. So let me show you that a little closer. All right, once again, there's the 10, right? So to make the 11 and 12 and all the rest of the teens, I simply die cut that out again. And I take my scissors and I go in there and I just kind of remove that inside portion. So I'm just cutting away, matching up the inner curve of that inner circle. And I just snip that completely out of there. Okay, so now you've got this. And then I would mount that onto a circle that I have punched. This happens to be a 1 1/16 circle punch that I have. If you don't have that, you can do 1 1/8 if you have it. You can die cut it on your Cricut machine or whatever you have. But there is your, let's call it the bullseye. And then I use the Retro Number Trio die set, which is Planner Essentials 27, to cut out my numbers. And then you would just put those numbers right in there. And I'll show you a variation of that in just a minute. Those are very skinny numbers. So I'll show you another idea that I had a little bit later. But to go back to that other idea I said I was going to show you later, that was where we cut away, yes, this one here that I mentioned, cutting away the smaller size of this same die. I used it back here. So I cut this one first, evidently, and then I used the outside part to cut the bigger part. So, you know, dual duty gets you a long way, and it makes things go a lot faster. All right, so where were we? 11 and 12. Here, I want to show you this in particular because the Christmas tree is in the paper pad, and it's on, oh, there it is, just a black and white piece of paper, okay? So I watched Els do something kind of clever like this as well, something similar. I just got out my Distress Oxides and a couple of blending tools, and I blended color over the top of that black and white page. I just did a little green where the tree was and a little blue, and done. Very quick, very simple. Because you may look at that black and white page and say, well, I don't really know what to do with that in black and white. So that's an idea. Okay, you can always add color. So here we go with some of the guys I already had ready from my video 1 that I told you I cut out these little die cuts in the car and had them all ready to go. Here's a big rolling pin from one of the die sets, and I cut out the word stecca, which is the name of a particular bread that I baked that day that turned out really great. Let's see, we've got our little Life is Good cut apart from one of the die sets. Cut aparts, a couple of photo mats, and it's done. Super easy. All right, this page showcases, again, another little cutie that I had already put together, so that was fast. There's my 13 and 14 again. And here's another tip that I learned from Els. Something that you can do to make things very quick and efficient. You see all the little hole reinforcer, different versions of them here. These are like arrows on this side, and these are little kind of star circles on the left side. You can cut apart a whole bunch of those different little bits and keep them in one of these little clear storage containers. And then that way you have some to pull from instead of every time you need something you have to go die cut it. They're ready to go out of a bin like this. All right, and so we have these very cute little banners, and let's see if I can find that set real quick. Yeah, this is really a great little set. It's called, it's number 36, Windows Overlay. And look at all of those little words or phrases like so good, Christmas. I mean, there's a ton of them, as you can see. And then there's some solid ones that you can cut, like I've done the black using the word, but then I've also done a cream color with the solid behind it. So that is super fast, super quick, and fits on there great. And while we're talking about it, another great thing to do when you cut out a particular frame piece like this one. This is from that same set. See the big frame out here? That's the windows. I cut it out twice, one with this great pattern paper from the pad I showed you. It has a little bit of green with floral on one side. And then I also cut it out in a light gray color. So save both. You use the gray color for the frame outside, and then you can use the inside pieces that you've cut away for the inside photo mat. So then my photos will be just a little bit smaller than that, and it'll look really pretty. So that's quick and easy. And then, you know, don't always think like all your little hole reinforcers have to be the same color. Look at how fun it looks when you kind of just mix and match out of pattern paper back there. Super, super cute. And you may notice this shiny little slick accent on the outside edge. I was playing with some of the new washi tapes from Elizabeth Crafts. This one is called Reminiscence number 1, and this one is Artsy Scenery. So all these fun, ooh, look at those fun colors. That's one of these here, the blue with the dripping action. And then this one is more like, let's say, typographical. So you'll see this show up later. I'll show you those. So that's fun, quick, and easy accent. All right, and then from video 1, you may recognize my hot chocolate mug there, all ready to go. Little snowflake die cut and photo mat, and it's done quick. And then here again, just some quick photo mats, some stamping from one of the stamp sets. This in particular was, yeah, so we have the word festive there. So the word festive is from, let's see, this is called Noel CS187. All these great expressions on here, but the word festive is right up here. And then that fun star is stamped around my page. There's 2 different size stars, and this is from the one called House CS186. So there's some great stamp sets as well. Those are by Sue Smith at Elizabeth Crafts. Great little accents. There's some more of that washi tape. There's actually 2 different washi tapes there. Super fast, super easy. All right, now we're on 17 and 18. We're getting there, changing up the color palette a little bit. Here's that fun Christmas tree from number 34, Christmas Figures. You have the tree there. You've got this tin soldier, which you'll see later, a bunch of little accent pieces, and then the actual like snowy accents on the tree that lays right over the top, and all the little accents on the tin soldier and the cute little snow guy. That's a really great set, so you'll see some more of that here in a bit. But the tree there, take a close look, you see there's a dark green and a light green. That's those 2 layers of the trees, and then boom, it's done. And it's all pattern paper, it's not cardstock, so it gives it just a little more interest. All right, 19 and 20. Simple, simple, simple. Okay, so again, here's one of those situations where you use one die to cut out a photo mat, but then save that extra outer piece, and you can use that again as a pretty little frame with a different colored cardstock behind it. So that is exactly what I did. That's from the outside of that, and then there's some craft cardstock tucked in behind it, and it's all set to go. This is a simple cut apart, and I'm continuing with my numbers, a little bit more of that create a wreath die to do some accents, and then simple, simple. Pretty pages. All right, now we are on, make sure, yep, 19, 20, so 21 and 22. So 21 and 22 look a little different. So at this point, I just kind of decided that I wanted those numbers to look chunkier and thicker. You can see how thin they are here, and that's fine. You can read them. That's good. But when I got here, I just kind of decided, you know, I'm going to use like the leftover cutaway from, say, a number that I cut out. Let's see if I can find one of those. Okay, we cut these out. All I did is go in here and cut apart the number, and I just kind of gave it a little bit of a border. Try to get that where you can see it. So I cut around the outside edge. Of course, I took a little bit more time for my actual pages than this, but just to give you an idea, did a little fussy cut around. And so I might have gotten about that far. Yep. And then you actually die cut the number 2 out of, say, black or something like that, and then just pop it right in the center. You can do that with all different colors and all different looks, but that's how that was accomplished. So a little bit more work, a little extra step, but it looks kind of cool. Stands out a little bit more. Again, we have a nice little photo frame here from one of the sets, and the word "this" is there. You can pick different words from that particular set to pop in there. And rather than popping back in the letters in a different color, I just laid a piece of pattern paper behind the opening for the word "this." Saves you a lot of time. You don't have to fuss with just all those little pieces of letters. And over here, we have just a few cut aparts, a couple of photo mats, and the page is done. Super simple. All right, here we are already at 23 and 24. There's the tin soldier guy. Now, just to be a little different, I cut away all those little details in his face just to make him look a little more generic and just a simpler look to him. And I have this little paper clippy kind of die cut here ready for my photo to slide underneath. So of course I have no glue under here, ready to go. Cute little trees cut from the pattern paper. These trees are from the Snowy Windows set. It has all these wonderful, there's the little clip I showed you, the little paper clippy thing. But there's the 2 trees right there. There's some leaves in here. I did use this big snowflake you'll see later. That's a great set. And then I will also talk about the winter home pocket die in just a minute. But there's that, very simple. And then for my next page, I knew I had 2 photos I needed to use here. But you can see those cute little Christmas tree hole reinforcers. Those are available to you as well. And these die cuts here, sleigh rides for 25 cents, really cute. And then just some cut aparts from the paper, and I'm done. All right, so my book, even though we call it a December day by day, mine is actually like a countdown to Christmas because I stop after Christmas Day, and then I'll put a little writing on this last page. But this is my last spread. Instead of just one day for 25, I have 2-page spread. So here's my big 25, which is actually in one of the papers. I just fussy cut out those numbers. Cut apart, easy, die cut, some holly from one of the dies, and then of course the cute hole reinforcers there that you see. These are from another set, just cute little dingbat kind of cutouts. And then this is a stamp, and all I've done is I stamped it all in red, and then I stamped it again in green and just cut out the word wonderful and patched that right over the top. You know, just to add a little more interest, not to just stamp it all in one color and be done with it. You can do that for sure, but if you want to take it one step further and really dress it up, you can do something like that. And then my last couple of photos here, and then I have my last page. Here we are with the washi of the 2 different colors and 2 different styles. One more little photo mat here. And here's a few cute little accents from that other set that I mentioned, the Winter Home Pocket set. So you can see it's got all these cute, wonderful leafy berry branches, different branches of different kinds, these cute little house pieces. Oh, I really considered making little gingerbread row houses out of this. You know, do a little accent of white icing on them and cut them out in brown. I think that would have been cute. But maybe I'll do that next year. But there's that cute bow. There's an alphabet in here. Actually, these are numbers on this one and this wonderful little tree. And then, of course, you've got this big trifold house-shaped pocket. Winter home pocket, they call it. And this giant pocket here. So I need to play with that one just a little bit more, but that's where those accents come from right there. Okay, before I show you how I pop my photos in, I thought that I would mention, I'm not sure how other people do it, but this is the way I have always done it. I go into Photoshop, I pull in the photos that I know that I need, I size them according to the photo mats that I have already put in my book. I label everything, and then I print them all out on 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper. And as you can see, there's doubles of almost everything, and that's so that in case I cut crooked or mess something up in a cut, I always have a second one. So now I need to just cut these apart and put them in the book and share that with you really quick.